You have tuned to a channel where short stories with reflections are told. Welcome to Storytime, friends. It's Elise Sinclair here, a Spanish native speaker who writes stories for you to reflect on. Are you open to the possibility of being in touch with loved ones who have crossed to the other side? If the answer is yes, don't miss this story. The title is Getting into the Light. A bunch of keys fell from Robert's hands. He was trying to open the door, but as he was so drunk, it was a difficult task for him to perform. Paul, Robert's neighbor, helped him open the door and reach the bed.
Robert's wife died 2 years ago, and he has been drinking and smoking since then.
His flat was a real mess. Everything was unclean and untidy, and the kitchen sink was full of dirty dishes. The next morning, when the alarm clock rang, Robert had a tremendous headache. He prepared some coffee and made some toast for breakfast with a stale piece of bread. After that, he had a shower and left his flat to take the bus to work. He arrived late, as always, at the post office where he worked. Although he didn't pull his weight, everybody felt pity for him and kept their distance because he always smelled of smoke, alcohol, and dirty clothes. In the evening, his cell phone rang.
Hi, Robert. It's me, Andrew.
Andrew was a chronic alcoholic, someone he had met in a pub.
I'm calling you to invite you to the senior game up with Tom. It offers a 20% discount on drinks.
Andrew told him.
Oh, I don't know. I have to go to bed early because I have to work tomorrow.
We can't miss this opportunity. A 20% discount on drinks?
Andrew replied excitedly.
Okay. I'll go, but I'll be back at 10 o'clock.
Robert said.
I'll pick you up in an hour.
Andrew answered. When they arrived at the Senior Gamer, a pub a few blocks from where Robert lived, they started drinking and smoking.
Why don't you try this new brand of whiskey?
Tom, another chronic drinker, asked Robert while showing him a huge glass of whiskey on the rocks.
Yeah, it's a good one, Andrew agreed. Robert started drinking one glass of whiskey after another, until he fell unconscious to the floor. He had gone into an alcoholic coma and had a near-death experience. He saw his dead wife, Betty, who spoke to him. Hi, darling. What were you doing with your life since I left your dimension? Betty asked him. Robert was amazed and ran to her arms to kiss her.
Betty, I missed you so much. I couldn't go on with my life without you.
Robert said, That's a big mistake. You have many responsibilities there and you have neglected them. I had to go because my presence was required here in this dimension. But I'm always by your side and I'm trying to help you as much as I can. You have to be aware that after our experience on Earth, we must come back to where we belong, to plan our return to Earth for another experience there, or continue working from another dimension on the universal plan. All of us are interconnected. We are a unity, and what happens on Earth has repercussions on the rest of the universe. Don't cry for me. I'm always by your side from this dimension, and we'll be together soon, but you have to accomplish your purpose first.
But I don't know what it is.
Robert said, embarrassed. Don't worry, you'll be guided, Betty told him and disappeared. Robert woke up in a hospital bed.
Good morning. How are you feeling? We thought we were going to lose you. Life gave you a second chance.
The nurse told him.
What happened to me?
Robert asked her.
You were officially dead for a minute.
The nurse answered. When he left the hospital, he decided to go downtown to have a cup of coffee and something to eat. After leaving the snack bar, he went for a stroll and entered a bookshop where he found some life-changing self-help books.
When he arrived at his flat, he was amazed at how dirty and messy it was, so he started cleaning it thoroughly. In addition to that, he washed a pile of dirty clothes and went to bed early. The next day, he began reading the books he had bought and tackled some meditation exercises. He went shopping to purchase some fresh food and vegetables, and when he returned, he noticed the smell of cleanliness for the first time since Betty's death.
He didn't know why, but he found cigarettes disgusting and gave up smoking at once. When it came to alcohol, it took him longer to eliminate it from his life, but after making progress on his meditation exercises, he managed to do so. He went on meditating every day, which enabled him feel inner guidance that helped him make good decisions.
He began composing music on his piano, which connected him with superior dimensions. He wrote a best-selling book about his near-death experience and how that changed his life. Besides, he started giving talks to groups of people who had lost their loved ones and to alcoholics, carrying hope to them.
He felt more alive and helpful than ever, wishing that when his life reached the end, he could live with the tranquility of the mission accomplished. Who hasn't lost a loved one throughout their life? We know that sometimes it's hard for us to overcome the loss, especially if it was someone very close. We tend to think that we have lost them forever, but that's not true. The fact that we can't see them here any longer doesn't mean that they can't be guiding us from another dimension. We pass through Earth for a while, but neither of us stays here forever. We must return to where we belong. We depart one by one once we have had our experience here. Every life has its purpose, and if we're still here, it's because we have things to do and to learn. Let's honor our loved ones who have already departed by living our lives with joy and a sense of purpose, and knowing that separation is only an illusion. We don't say goodbye, we only say, see you later. Thank you for being there as attentive listeners and for following us on social media. Remember to subscribe to the channel to be ready for another video. You're the reason for me to go on creating new stories, so I want to thank you once again for being a supportive audience. I'd like to remind you that death is only the beginning of a new stage. Your essence is immortal. Your loved ones are taking care of you and waiting for you to accomplish your purpose here, to join them when the time arrives. Keep shining because you are my stars.